Test 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. This is AC Sports Live. It is Thursday, May 18th, the Lord year 2023. I appreciate you. Glad you could join me tonight. Full show. I will be joined by one of my mentors, my coaches. I call him the doctor. Well, just call him Coach. Erroll Parker will join me here on AC Sports Live. He's putting together a union for the Long Beach Poly basketball family. We'll talk to him in a few minutes. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, comment. I see your comments. Michael Staff in the house. Time is Now podcast. If you have not listened to the Time is Now podcast this week, I'm on there. Tony's on there. Check it out on all your podcast outlets. Spotify, Apple Music, you name it. Mike Staff's on there, and the time is now. We're on Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. We also are on the Empire Sports Network, where a lot of my Laker fans are on there, not very happy about tonight's results. The Denver Nuggets grabbed game 2. The Lakers could have won that game. We'll talk about that in a little bit. NBA playoffs, the bubble redo, the bubble part 2. Tender love report comes from Philadelphia. The Sixers quit on Doc. And it's Doc's fault that they quit on him. What's the new process? I don't know. The Spurs win the lottery. They'll get Wimby. As Mike Staff calls him, Wimby, Yama. Are the expectations too high for Wimby? My 2 cents, the Aces, Haney, Loma, and I want to tell you a story about my son's last track meet. Crazy story. I want to do a segment called my OG Life Lessons. If I could talk to Ja. If I could be Ja Morant's OG. My sports flick is Air. I'm AC. This is AC Sports Live. Here we go.
Be hostile, man. My people been persecuted. All right.
We're back in the mix. The good thing about social media is that we remain connected to those we may have lost touch with, be it friends, family, teammates, whatever it might be. I'm thankful for it. I got a notification that there's an upcoming alumni reunion for Long Beach Poly Hoops. And yes, I played football, but I did play basketball my sophomore and junior year at Long Beach Poly for the great Ron Palmer and the also great legendary assistant coach, Dr. Erroll Parker. He's not doctor, but I like to call him doctor. I'm gonna bring him on to see if I can get this technology to work for me. Let's see, here we go. Hey, there he is. Coach Parker, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Here we go. There he is.
Yes, I can.
Coach Erroll Parker, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent, Anthony, and I'm very proud of you and what you've accomplished in other places, and you're a minister now. I couldn't be more proud.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. And the talk of the town, I mean, it's going to jump right in. As I talk about mentorship all the time and wisdom and how athletes, for the most part, are not always using their right mind, so to speak. And the Ja Morant situation is prevalent. It's the talk of the town. You were one of my mentors. let's take a little trip down. What if you were John Morant's coach, um, and you had to deal with him on the matter that he's dealing with right now, where he's gotten into trouble pretty close together, not even like 4 months apart, for waving a gun on social media, portraying a persona that necessarily does not make the league very happy. But if you had an opportunity to speak to him, to mentor him, what would you say to a young man like that?
Well, I would first, having a good rapport with a person that I coach, if I had a good rapport with him, and I would get his side of the story. I would say, what did you do? And explain this to me. Why are you doing this? I see pictures of you doing this and doing that. I hear stories about you, this and that. Now, I know you, and you are the same guy that you were when you didn't have any money. You had the same character. Now you just have money, and now you've done a couple of things. You have a few things that have been pretty questionable. Tell me your side of the story. So then I will listen and ask questions and see if he's going to take any responsibility for what happened. And if he doesn't, or if he does it in an insincere manner, I said, when I heard that before, and so it seems like you're repeating some stupidity here. But the major thing is to get his side of the story
Mm.
and see if he'll take any responsibility. And if he's immature, he will not, or he will superficially take some responsibility, which he did after the first act. He made a statement that his agent probably told him to make. But one of the toughest things, Anthony, is to disassociate yourself with people who are not doing positive things. And I've had to do that a couple of times in my life. And it's not easy, especially when you're an adolescent or a young adult, your boys. But I had to do that. I said, you know what? I want to do something else. So you surround yourself with people who are going to support you in positive things. And apparently, John Morant, and sometimes the family can be your worst enemy. They got their hand out. You got money. They're asking for loans. They ask for gifts. The expectation goes through the roof, and you try to meet that expectation, or you're vicariously trying to live through other people who you admire, who are doing negative things, and that's not really you. You're trying to be somebody that you're not. But I want to hear your side of the story. And so I will sit and listen. And based upon that, after all the cameras and the lights are off, it's just me and you talking. And I'm doing a lot of I'm being an empathetic listener because I know you, just like I know you, T. I know you since you was a little boy. You can't fool me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come up with something to me, say, wait a minute, T, come on, come clean with me. And so that's kind of how we deal with John Morant.
I mean, a lot of people throwing the blame on different uh, factors, whether it be rap music, his parents, his circle. Is it necessary to put a blame on this? Like you're saying, you would talk to him, get to the source. Is it necessary to put blame on this so we can get that part taken care of, or is it just a matter of a time of a 23-year-old young man to kind of look at himself?
It's time for him to that makes some sense. Now, if he's closing people off, there's no help immediately for him. But at this point, not only does he's losing millions, but he may lose his freedom or his life at one point, or his freedom. And that money can go really quick. You talk to some athletes who've been into the mix and making millions, and now they're homeless. They have mental challenges, and they have no more money. And then all those people that were around you, even their family, don't want to have anything to do with it. So those kind of examples. Now, that's also when prayer comes in. See, intercessory prayer for those people who have a right relationship with God. I can pray for you, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord says, okay, Erroll, you have a right relationship with me. I'm going to intercede. I'm going to do what I'm going to, that Anthony's my child. I'm going to do some unconditional things for him.
Mhm.
But um, I'm now, since you have prayed for him, I'm going to do special things for him.
Mhm.
But he's got to understand who I am,
Yeah, he has to
because otherwise he will not recognize what I'm trying to do.
understand that he now has the responsibility and obligation to show the appreciation of those prayers, the appreciation of you looking out for him and seeing this, what's best for him, and telling him no. Like people want to jump up and blame his dad. His dad is living vicariously through him. I believe Michael Staff and myself talked about this on this show on Tuesday. And as you can see it, The dad is is in hog heaven. My son is this electric player that everybody is gravitating towards. He's the face of the league. Had he not gotten to this situation, because he's done nothing wrong as far as the law is concerned. Both times were an open carry. I believe that those are registered guns or whatever it might have been. The look was not where he needed to have himself, especially a person who's trying to sell sneakers, who's trying to be a role model, from a mid-major to an NBA star. Everything is a storybook, and he just pretty much stopped his book at the second chapter when he could have had 15, 16 chapters with a great story to tell others that a small kid from a small town, small school made it big time. But now we're going to have to avoid a cautionary tale of one who threw it all away. Um, so hopefully, I hope that he can get himself together. I hope that he has an OG in his corner, a mentor like yourself. Who myself as a young athlete, I thought I was invincible. I got into a little bit of trouble, and you and Coach Palmer have all taken me to the side and given me words of wisdom that I respected. Now at Long Beach Poly, we see many upon many star athletes go on to make it, and we also see many upon many not go on to make it. But you still get those lessons that are taught within that sport. So transitioning from the situation where a young man needs that mentoring now in a professional setting, you have been able to mentor and coach for I'm not sure how long, but you said 1970. What year did you start coaching at Long Beach Park?
I started coaching at Long Beach Poly in the 1975 season
I
with
was
Coach Ron Palmer
I
in his
was
second
one.
year.
I was one. I was one back in Connecticut. I was back in Connecticut in 1975, and you were already coaching. And now, if you have not seen the 1984 national, is it state championship or a mythical national championship basketball team? It's on YouTube. Somebody uploaded it to YouTube, so it
Both,
happened.
both.
Pope did. Hey,
In,
you can
in
watch some
19,
good.
1984, we won.
You won state or
In
national?
1984, we won the state championship. State champion. Well, we won the mythical national champion, high school championship, but they never played for it.
Never played for, but it was the best team that you've seen. I mean, you guys look like grown men. When I saw the game, I was like, this can't be high school. Them was falling. There's some and tough defense, and that's kind of what we the grind. And I told Melvin Jones about at the reunion we had for you when we gave you a little honor. The two boots, I believe it was the two boots award. I forgot what it was called, but we honored you for your longevity and persistence
Yeah,
and
the boots on the ground.
Boots on the Ground award. And I saw Melvin Jones. I said, "You still one of the best defenders I've ever seen at the high school level." And we talk basketball all the time and how the game has changed. Um, Fast forwarding, there's an upcoming reunion. I have a graphic that was shared. I believe Samu sent it out today as well. Talk about this alumni reunited reunion that's going to be held in July.
Well, first of all, the reason why I'm doing it is to raise money for our poly, which I've been doing. I've been a tutor there, bringing academics there since the beginning. But I decided after you guys honored me at Poly High School the other day, I said, why not have a reunion to raise money for the Poly basketball program academically and personal development? So what's happening on July, June the 30th is the
Is it
boy
June? Is it
Long
June?
Beach
July?
Poly.
It's the flyer says July.
No, it's June the 30th.
Okay,
Oh,
this is
excuse me, July 30th. I'm so sorry. July 30th.
July.
Um, it's a varsity boys basketball reunion from 5 to 9 at El Dorado Park golf course, and we're going to have uh, poly players from the late 50s all the way to the present. Some people have already decided they're going to come from various places. We won a championship in 1956. John Atkinson's father was a member of that team. We won it in 1960 with John Rambo, a member of that team. We won it in 1964 and 65 with Trent Gaines, Gene Washington, and Chuck, the guys that you probably never heard of, Chuck Bohr, Matt Calvin. We won it in 1976 with Johnny Nash and Michael Wiley. We won it in 1981 with Troy Carmen and John Atkinson and Kent Seymour. We won it in 1984 with the team chips in the 90s and almost to the present. And we're sending out, and I'm thank you for allowing me to come on your podcast. We're sending out a promotion to everybody who have played varsity basketball from late 1950s to the present at El Dorado Park Golf Course. We're going to have a program there. We're going to have a silent auction. We're going to have memorabilia there, and you'll get a chance to see some of the guys that you.
Yeah, I mean, I still have, well, it's a JV jersey, but I did play 2 years of varsity. I had to sit behind the great Tyus Edney and Melvin Jones, so it was worth it. And but you know, I have a picture of you, Coach Palmer, and Tyus Edney, a nice little graphic, and you guys run the Ron Palmer summer camp every year, and I try my best to publicize it and help when I can. But there are many great stories behind the history of Long Beach Poly basketball. Not just a football school; it was a basketball school as well. Did you by any chance coach Tony Gwynn as well, Coach? Did Tony Gwynn play for you?
I sure did. I coached Tony Gwynn. We won the night. He was He was on the 1976 team. He was our point guard on that team with
Wow.
Michael Wiley and Johnny Nash. Yeah, Tony Gwynn went on to be a great baseball player and a Hall of Famer. Yes, he was a tremendous point guard. Went on to San Diego State and decided to play baseball for the San Diego Padres and San Diego State.
That's pretty good.
Aztecs.
Pretty good choice. He was pretty good. He was pretty good at baseball, if not the best hitter of all time. My goat, Tony Gwynn, played point guard for Long Beach Poly in 1976. That's amazing. So the reunion will have all the old
And
heads.
77.
1977. I don't know how you keep track of all those years. I guess when you
Yeah,
really a part of it,
76 and 77.
I know. I mean, it seems incredible that you can remember those years, but I guess when you are a part of something that you truly are passionate about, you remember. Like I remember everything. Like I remember Pee Wee football. I remember being on the baseball team. I remember a shot I made. My dad came to see me for the first time, and I made a mid-range shot, and he said, "I didn't know you shot the mid-range." And I think you told me to shoot the mid-range because I was trying to shoot. I was trying to go to the basket a lot. I believe you and Coach Kalanjai was like, "Man, pull up right there. It's a lot of room right there. Nobody's at the, no one's there. And you pull up at the 12-foot elbow, it's a high percentage shot and it's open. And it's just, the small things. And as far as playing defense, all the defensive drills we used to do, you take the ball away and make us play defense for 2 weeks and not see a basketball, just moving our feet, playing with our feet before our hands, playing through passing lanes, all the things y'all taught us. I go to the LA Fitness today and get 2 steals every game just by playing off the ball defense. And it carried over into football because all those
If you learn to
is
listen, if you learn to listen, you learn.
it's crazy. I was trying to coach today. I'm coaching football at St. Anthony's, and I'm teaching some kids just some mental reps. Like before the ball is snapped, have you thought about what could happen? Like, have you taken a look at the angles? Have you taken a look at the distance between you and the sideline? Like all this stuff can be, you're going to get it when you're 20 and you're going to kick yourself because you could have done it when you were 15. And I'm just like, man, when you all were coaching us, technique and mental toughness, Like all those things. Now that I teach my kids how to drive and stuff like that, technique and listening and understanding. That's what y'all taught us. And that's why I'm so appreciative. That's why I'm so supportive of whatever y'all got going on. Because I remember all that stuff. You, Coach Norford from football and track, Coach Palmer, Coach Academy, Coach J So from football, all the things y'all taught me, I took a little bit with me. And that's why I think I was able to be successful for a little bit and have some success because I knew I had reputable, knowledgeable teachers. Now, I know you've seen the coaching landscape. I might go on off script now. How do you feel about the AAU circuit and how coaches are coaching basketball today?
Well, they're coaching differently now. It's not about the techniques that you just alluded to. It's really run and shoot. It's not spacing. It's not fundamental. The game has changed, at least from that respect. It's very refreshing when you see coaches. The athletes are more athletic now, but the game has changed with the 3-point shot, with the dribbling between the legs, and all that kind of thing. The big guys dribbling. But going back to Tony Gwynn, it was no surprise that Tony Gwynn was going to be successful because whatever I was teaching Tony, he would listen to. He would listen and try to do what I was suggesting that he did. And so he executed. And now some guys will blow you off. They say, oh, this old man trying to tell me what to do. I was at poly practice yesterday, and here's a guy who's just trying to get on the team. I was trying to tell him how to pass, and he was trying to dispute what I was like yourself. You listen and you try to do what the coach asks you to do because he knows the coach is the teacher and you're the student. And that's in life. Now we talk about John Moran. Now John Moran will say, time out. Let me listen to my minister, or let me listen to somebody that I haven't listened to, or I need to go back to my high school and have a sit down with Don Norford. Now, if you want some schooling, go over there on Easy Avenue. Mm-hmm. Don doesn't come up to Poly, but I guarantee you'll open the door and say, sit down, and he'll talk and he'll give you some wisdom. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people don't want to listen. And then now you become foolish.
Yeah.
But the game has changed a whole lot, and the advent of the AAU team is changing. When you see high school coaches, college coaches, and even some professional coaches like Steve Kerr with the Golden State Warriors, who teaches fundamentals, give and go, know where your man is, know where the ball is, all those kinds of things that a lot of guys don't want to hear, and that's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, my son would have benefited tremendously by being in the 80s and early 90s when you all was still teaching and valuing a defensive kid. Like today's kid, if you're not scoring 20 buckets, they don't feel like they're valuable. I said, but there is still a place on every team for a defensive stopper, a rebounder, a leader, a dog that could be counted on to do the small things. They're teaching all the kids to be guard. Like and my son, he was just kind of like, Dad, it's not working out. And I'm just kind of like, well, son, this is how the game is evolving. And I see your value. I would have used you somehow, but the coaches that I put you in, part of my fault, like putting them on the travel ball team and trying to make them, assimilate to what they're doing. And, he just looked lost and he was not having fun. So then he gravitates to football and became pretty good in about a year. He came really good because football was a lot more structured. So I put him in Coach Raul Lara's system. I know he was going to teach him. He wasn't going to scream at him. He wasn't going to expect him to be a player the first day. He was going to teach him. And that's kind of where I kind of like tell all my student athletes, if you're being taught and you're being coached hard, you're in the right place. Because that means they care, they love, they want to see the best for you. They don't care about wins and losses per se. They care about you learning the fundamentals and learning the lesson that comes with the hard work and dedication. So that's kind of where I stand on it. And I've always been very selective by putting them in around coaches that had that approach that you guys had with us back in our day. Now, I also follow you on social media, Coach, and you're heavily involved in Hoops After Dark. Tell me about this.
Well, Hoops After Dark is so those guys after high school who thought that they were going to be NBA stars, but they still enjoy playing basketball and they still have that dream.
Mm-hmm.
But what we do, just like in the Palmer basketball camp, basketball is the hook to get them involved. So what we do is that we work with them in non-basketball related life lessons in employment, in education, in health, in legal issues, in entrepreneurship. We're teaching them about how to live their lives, making goals for themselves and steps to achieve those goals. For instance, I didn't play much in high school, but I cheered my teammates on. I wanted to play, but my father guided me. So he said, you're not going to always be chosen. And to have somebody like that, so when my basketball career was over, I was done with it. Now I started coaching because I was at King Park, and Palmer asked me to coach, and Herb Smith asked me to coach. But it's something to be said about cheering your teammates on, and you're on the bench. You want to play, but you're not pouting and you're not being. But you're practicing hard. You're making the team better by practicing hard, and you're not being jealous and sullen with your teammates. But that takes your father, will not vicariously living through you, your auntie or uncle say, it's all right, sweetie. You're playing, you're participating. Just do your best. Now that carries over in employment, being a good father, being a good neighbor, being a good friend. All those life lessons. I may not have been a star, but I became a good friend. I became a child of God. I started listening to the Lord. And so now, as you see, I mentor a lot of people. I was not a star. I played freshman basketball at Cal State Long Beach, and that was it. Mm-hmm. But I became a good coach. And a lot of times, the star players or superstars don't make good coaches. No. Sometimes it takes a guy who didn't play that much that knows how to teach and then see. I'm sensitive when and learning how to be an assistant is very important too. I could probably write a book on being an assistant. I've been an assistant pastor at my church. I've been an assistant basketball coach. Learning how to encourage others and make your influence toward others. And as a coach, I look down on the bench and I say, you know what, the guy that guy on the bench, I say, you might get a chance to play if you do this. Mm-hmm. If you go get us the rebound, if you get the ball for us, if you play good defense, if you don't throw the ball away, you'll get a chance to play. So it's not the guys that are in the first rotation. Sometimes I go to the end of the bench and I see potential in some guy who's coming off the bench. Those are life lessons.
Absolutely. And that's kind of where I think it worked. I taught my son that your body language, your participation, your enthusiasm is infectious. So his first year at St. Anthony, he didn't see a lot of playing time because he was behind some pretty good players. But I told him, I said, if you work hard enough in practice and the coach see you're dedicated and consistent and they can count on you to be in the right place and do the right things, you'll get a chance. And before you know it, he was getting major minutes. He was starting in the playoffs, and he was a cog to a very good championship level team his junior year. Now, his senior year, he got injured in football, came out a little bit late, didn't have the same success, but he had that hand clap that the coach needed on the sideline. He was the spirit of the team. So the coach was ever grateful because here you got this football stuff. Go ahead, Coach. What were you going to say, Coach?
I was going to say, but it's important for your son to. I was going to say it's important for you to tell your son that. Yeah, I saw you on the bench cheering everybody on instead of saying something else. That, man, I'm really proud of you the way you were encouraging your teammates. That means a lot to a boy. Mm-hmm. I do that the same thing with kids. They need somebody to give them that reinforcement. You're not always going to be the star, but I saw you, a young man, congratulating another one of your teammates.
Yeah, and that's
important.
It's not popular amongst the kids that's your role, but I think kids recognized it at his school because when he rejoined the team, they were like, okay, now we got this element of the team is back. Not that he was going to score 25, but they knew he was going to come in and bring some muscle, some spirit, some enthusiasm, some speed, some toughness, and they were a lot more confident as a group because they had that element of captain, of leader, And that's kind of where my transition to my last question for you, as far as faith in sports. Like you mentioned earlier, I'm a minister as well. I'm a youth pastor at my church, and I know it ties in perfectly. But for your career, the longevity of your career, and as you found salvation and a closer walk with our Savior, how does that tie into being a coach and as far as your calling is concerned?
It's everything, T. I've been called to be a minister. I've been called to be a preacher, an evangelist, and that's what's coming after this world is going to be revealed to everyone, and some people are not going to be a part of this kingdom that God has in store, but there will be people who will be. And what we do here in this dress rehearsal that we call life, what we do here and what we do for the Lord is going to count in the new world that's coming, in the kingdom that's coming. And those of us who believe in the Lord Jesus will be in 1,000-year reign. We will be ruling with him. And that gospel message has to be permeated in the calling that people like you and I have in this world. He's called us to do that. Does not mean that we're perfect,
No.
but it means that we believe who God is and the redemptive gospel message that he gives, that we have been saved by sin by the blood of Jesus Christ. And that's my calling, whether it's in sports, being a father, being a husband, being a neighbor, being a friend. That's my calling. And it so happens that God has planted me in Long Beach,
Mm-hmm.
at King Park, Cal State Long Beach, Poly High School, Grant AME Church, 12 grandchildren, 5 children, those types of things. That is a calling.
Mm-hmm.
And sports is part of that because sports is popular in this world. And so I'm the legend that I am because of Poly High School, but it's more than that. It's really being an evangelist and a disciple of Jesus Christ.
So once you are a coach, because I know for myself, and I've helped a student athlete get to a certain level, I have his ear at that point. And that's when I introduce the Lord to him. Like when it gets a little bit tough and you feel like the circumstances or that everything's against you, where do you go to for your source of strength? And I used to write on my gloves 4 J's. That was for Jesus, Juanita, Joy, and Jordan. My Savior, my mother, my wife, and my daughter. And that was
Wow.
I looked at on my glove every play. And I encourage my young athletes to try it. I share with them Yeshua, and that I'm studying Hebrew, and I just continue to learn as far as my walk is concerned. But my faith is not me, man. I can only run so fast and jump so high. And I think the students eventually mature to that level that at this level, everybody runs fast. Everybody jumps high. And the blessings come from when you play for him and you honor and praise him by playing hard, by being a good teammate, by having enthusiasm and not sucking your teeth when the coach asks you to do something, not having an excuse, being a man of your word. All those things play into how we're coaching these young men and how it will resonate more when I witness to them. I was a chaplain at Lusinger High School when I was a coach there. I did Bible study before the games, and you're not allowed to really be real preachy in public school. But I know that it was resonating with the kids. That Coach Cobb is super aggressive all the time, and I'm like, there's a reason why I'm aggressive all the time. I have an obligation to not sugarcoat, to not beat around the bush and tell you what's not true. So I know there's a connection between our sports and our faith, and we can reach it. We have that platform, we have that microphone, so to speak, and they have their ear because they want to go pro, even if it's not actually in that sport. Going pro to me is just being successful and learning the lessons that come with this sport. If you are blessed to go pro, great, that's gravy. But if you can become a productive young man, young lady, out of the coaching that we offer, I think that's what our calling is, and I think we've done our job.
Yep.
Few minutes left, Coach. Last one more time though, the upcoming reunion fundraiser. Let's plug that one last time before I let you go. It is going to be July 30th at El
That's
Dorado
right.
Golf Course. What kind of memorabilia going to be there? So, like,
That's right.
is it going to be some like signed jerseys, like Long Beach Poly stuff? What's going to be on display for the auction?
Coach Palmer, who lives in Virginia, he's going to ship a bunch, and he's coming himself because the Palmer camp is August the 1st through the 4th at Browning High School for kids 8 to 14. But Palmer's going to come. He's going to bring a bunch of memorabilia to auction off to sell the weekend so we can raise money for the tutorial and personal development program. Basketballs, jerseys, photographs. I got a photograph right here. I'm trying to find the author of this. This is Johnny Nash. It's a painting of Johnny Nash at Long Beach City College playing against Milligan. There's Clyde Johnson and Michael Wiley. We're going to try to auction this off if I can find the author. His name is Roger Moore.
Hmm.
And we're trying to find out because we want to get his permission that we can put this up for auction. His name is Roger Moore. He painted this painting, but it was given to me. But those are the type of things that we're going to auction off. Mike Garabasio, who's with 562 Sports, he's going to be pushing his book about Long Beach basketball. He's going to be there and selling books and having a few things to say. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, I got Mike.
So if you can give us some memorabilia that we can auction off.
All I got is a small number 44 Long Beach Poly basketball jersey, and I actually wore it. I squares into it one time, and my buddy was like, "Hey man, I need to get that jersey up off you." So I know it's some worth. Like people see the old school stuff with the small tight white shorts. I don't know if I still have the shorts, but I have a real tight jersey.
Yeah,
I can help if anybody wants to buy number 44 white Long Beach Poly jersey.
Okay.
All right, Coach. I really appreciate the time. I appreciate the insight, and we will definitely make it to the reunion. Again, if you ever lace them up for varsity basketball at Long Beach Poly, you are invited to the reunion on July 30th at El Dorado Park. Is there a phone number or anywhere where they can, let me see, is there on the flyer it says there's a $40 donation?
I'll see the flyer. They can call me. Yeah, they can. We have a website. You look at the flyer.
www. I think it says reunite Long Beach Poly bball.com. www.reunite LB Poly bball.com. That's it.
We have some sponsorships. People they can take out some sponsorships. There's a sponsorship letter of 4 levels of sponsorship. Right now, we've got stuff donated: Dodger tickets, CIF passes, golf for 4. Chris Quinn is trying to get us some Padre tickets. We got some Dodger tickets. For those who are given sponsorships, they will get a gift as well.
All right, that
sounds for the general public. It costs $40.
Hey, that sounds awesome. All right, Coach, I appreciate your time, and we will definitely see you at the reunion. All right. Blessings.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you. All right. All right, y'all. I appreciate Dr. Palmer for allowing us to borrow Dr. Parker. Allowing him to be the assistant, allowing him to have a voice, allowing him to be who he is. And now is a great coach, mentor, minister in the community of Long Beach. Appreciate him immensely. Great information. Miguel Lara, my brother in Christ, said, pray up. Yes, sir. Elaine says positivity brings camaraderie. Yes, indeed. Dean Gillis Jr. said, great interview. Appreciate that. All right, so we have a little bit of show left, about 20 minutes. Let me run through what we got left on the docket. Once again, July 30th. If you ever lace them up, come out and join us for the reunion at El Dorado Park. Get some golf in. The reunion is not until 5. It's 5 to 9 p.m. So we need to get a golf game that morning so we can walk right from the golf course over to the fellowship hall and have our shindig. All right. back to the slate. What we got left on the docket? All right, so the bubble, part 2. So last night we saw the Heat snatch game 1 from the Celtics, and I'm not even surprised. I'm not surprised because I still believe Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's love child. Jimmy Butler is a dog, man. He's a dog. The Heat snatched game 1 from the Celtics, 123 to 116, taking away home court advantage, extending the career of Udonis Haslem. The Miami Heat, Spoelstra is an amazing coach, but that daggone Jimmy Butler, Michael Jordan's son, is a killer. And fast forwarding tonight, the Lakers had a great opportunity to snatch home court again, which leads me to believe this is going to go 7. Lakers win their 2 at home, 2-2. Back to Denver. Denver wins again. Denver hasn't lost at home the whole playoffs. The Lakers have to win a game in Denver to go to the finals. It's going to come down to game 7. Somebody said Lakers in 6. I believe Bubba Dove said Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. Got a shirt made. Well, the way it's looking, the home court advantage is going to be the killer. They have to win game 5 or 7. We're going to be looking at a Denver-Miami championship. Nobody wants to see that. Everybody wants to see the Lakers versus the Celtics. But if Jason Tatum don't show up, I don't know if that's going to happen. So we got what we want, though. We got parity. It's not going to be no sweep by the Lakers, no sweep by the Celtics. They're going to have to earn the Eastern and the Western Conference titles to get to their chip. My tender love report, I got to strike it up. My Sixers. Just flat out quit. And to me, that's so tender. These jokers not only didn't close out at home, but in game 7, tied at half, come out and go 33-5 in the third quarter. James Harden quit. The MVP quit. How do you quit in game 7? Quit in game 5 and game 6, not game 7. What was that? Now, Doc Rivers should have never got the job in the first place, because he walked straight from a bad situation in LA with the Clippers and moseyed on to the East Coast and got us to the playoffs, and that's all he can really promise is playoffs. He can't promise nothing beyond the second round. Mike Staff will tell you he only got that 1 chip, not because of the big 3, because of Lakers injuries. The Trevor Ariza and the big fella. I forgot his name. Mike Staff going off. The Lakers should have won tonight. The Lakers should have won the next 4 in a row. But now, I think it's going to be a home court series to the last game. Mike Staff said, God dang, Bron and AD. They tired, man. Drury and Reeves, like you said, balled out. Tender Love Davis is always on the list. How many shots did he take? 5? Mike Staff said Lakers losing in 7. It's gonna be, man. I hope the Lakers win, man. I got too many Laker friends that are diehard fans that we don't want the Celtics to get number 18, and I agree with that. I don't want the Celtics to get 18 on our watch, Sixers or Lakers watch. I'm a You see Kareem on the wall in the back behind me. Lakers and Celtics lose, and this may be one of the lowest ratings ever. That's what. Okay. Is the fix in? I don't think Jimmy Butler gonna let it happen. The same way it didn't happen in the bubble. Did Jimmy Butler beat the Celtics by himself? Jimmy couldn't beat the Lakers by himself. Rui was a beast in college. I agree, Queen Lane. Rui is the missing piece. Now, hopefully, AD and LeBron hop in that hyperbaric chamber and get some energy back. Because they done wore themselves out in these last 2 games. I know this 1-day rest is not helping. We saw LeBron James do a Shaq and the Fool, getting ready to do the rock the cradle dunk in the open court by yourself, unsuccessfully. But back to my Sixers. You fire Doc. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Kinda happy. Not happy the man lost his job, but I'm happy we get to change the voice, the tone, the adjustments of our team. Like I said on the Time Is Now podcast, we keep Maxey, we keep Embiid, let Harden walk. Harden wants to play free basketball, which means to me he don't want to be coached. He wants to be given the green light to do whatever he wants. I guess he can do that in Houston with all them young boys. There will be no championship for Harden in his career if he wants to play free. Same thing happened to my boy Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, he didn't want to be coached hard until he met Larry Brown and understood this is how we win. They got to the finals and ran into that juggernaut, the LA Lakers, with Shaq and Kobe. They squeezed off that first win. That was about it. But he is still regarded as one of the greats in Philadelphia for the hard effort every single night, maximum effort, giving his body up, littlest guy in the league, playing the hardest. Philadelphia appreciates that. Now, somebody sent a text to me saying Dame Lillard to Philly, and I was like, I like Dame, but I don't know if Dame is the guy either. I need someone that's going to play defense and score the ball, which is very hard to find. If we could somehow get a Drew Holiday type, I mean, we got Maxey. I just think I need a veteran. I need an old head. I need an OG. Not no Chris Paul either. Somebody that's not going to get hurt in Game 5 of any series, any part of the season. I need an OG point guard that's going to play hard. If we can get Drew Holiday, great. I doubt it, though. Oh, boy. Miguel said Denver in 5. Hate to say it. Wow. Lakers going to squeeze off 1. They win the next game, and then Denver wins the next 2. Dang, Miguel. The truth hurts. I hope it's not the truth. Elaine said, for some reason, I think the Lakers are going to pull it out. I got a good feeling about it because they didn't play well tonight. And they still had a chance to win. If AD plays like AD should, and LeBron's not tired, the Lakers win that game by 15 points. So I kind of feel you, Leanne. I kind of feel good about it. They play on Sunday now, so they get a couple more days off. They need it. Today is what, Thursday? Friday, Saturday. Starting, they fly back today, fly back tonight. Tomorrow, watch film, maybe shoot around. Sunday, don't do nothing. So Friday, Saturday. Friday, do nothing. Saturday, shoot around. Now, they can probably shoot on their own, but don't run them boys. They should not do any cardio. Travel day is tonight, isn't it? They need to get out of town now and get the air back. Get back down to sea level to get some regular air. Because they sucking that mile-high air, and it's thin. Real thin. Elaine said Brian will be on Shackton. He will have his own segment. Yeah, he will. They're gonna edit that thing. I wonder what they're gonna do. I wish the game was on TNT. Now, are all the Western Conference games on ESPN? That stinks. Oh well. All right, zooming through. Stay on course here. So the new process for the Sixers, if we get Nick Nurse, Monty Williams, it'll be a new voice, recycled strategies. You inherit Embiid and Maxey. I'm not sold on Tobias anymore. We had a great team on paper, but when it's time to play ball, even if Doc didn't make adjustments, you still got to play hard, and these boys did not play hard. So for me, blow it up. Bring in a voice that will kind of get the guys to rally the troops. Find us a veteran point guard that's going to be a dog, get these guys going, and see if we can help the process come to fruition. And if it don't happen in 2 years, time to blow it up again. The Spurs win the draft lottery, getting Wembanyama, Yama, says Mike Staff. The expectations on this young man. Now, I haven't seen him play a whole bunch. I haven't even seen him play. But him going to San Antonio was a blessing because he gets to play under Pop. And Pop has had his share of towers, talented bigs, from David Robinson to Tim Duncan. And Tim Duncan was the last big skilled draft. The first guy come out of college just was ready to play. This kid, to give you a perspective how big he is, that's Rudy Gobert, who's 7'1", maybe 7'2". This kid has KD skills and is towering over Rudy Gobert. If he can stay healthy, he's the real unicorn. LeBron said he's not a unicorn, he's an alien. Expectations are high. We'll see how he fares in the 82-game NBA. OG Rafiq, if AD and LBJ get rest, we may pull off 2 in a row. Joker and Murray cold. I think it's possible. Like I said, it's a home court game type of series. They could have easily won tonight. If AD would have got hot, or Bron not turn the ball over. Rafiq says 76ers need a coach, a point guard, and some real shooters. Ain't that everybody though? I totally agree, but I know as a Sixers fan, we need it. We need it. My 2 cents. Somebody get Becky Hammond. She out here bullying players. We know the WNBA needs publicity, but not this kind. Said after 3-month investigation involving 30 people, the WNBA said Tuesday they're suspending the Aces coach Becky Hammond for 2 games and taking away the first-round draft pick of 2025 because the franchise violated league rules regarding impermissible player benefits and workplace policies. The investigation was launched because claims were made by former Aces player Derica Hamby. She was traded to the Sparks. She said the behavior was unethical. Being lied to, bullied, manipulated, and discriminated against is not cool. I don't know what's going on with the Aces, because I heard word on the street that Becky Hammond was a candidate for an NBA job. Well, she might have to go to the NBA where bullying is allowed. I feel bad for Derica Hamby, but she's still playing, so it's not all bad. But how she was treated probably was not cool. But some inside of me believes that she's not the only one, and the Aces aren't the only organization that is harsh. that is straightforward, that tells the truth. Remember, we're in a cancel generation. You can't tell the truth without being suspended or canceled. So we will never hear the details of what's going on. But whatever it is, as Elaine says, Becky was savage. Becky Hammon, as a player, now as a coach, savage. So much so they lost a draft pick in 2025. And she lost 2 games without pay. Big fight this weekend. I don't know who you got. We got Haney versus Loma. Now, I'm a Loma fan. Lomachenko scares me. His whole ethnicity scares me. Them dudes just look scary like killers. But Devin Haney is the undisputed champ. Super lightweight WBA champ. They fight Saturday. I think Loma is a couple fights away from being washed. He's still a champion caliber fighter. But I think Haney probably wouldn't take this fight if he was really in danger. He's a lot younger, probably a lot quicker. My money's on Haney, but I believe Lomachenko is going to give him a tough fight. The wild card that Loma's a little dirty. Loma will grab you and punch you in the back of the head. No rabbit punches, no more these days. But I think he can still do some of the dirty tactics that he's used to doing. If he gets inside, if Haney is, if he gets careless at all, Loma will make him pay. But I believe Haney can outscore Loma and win this by decision. Pretty much a unanimous decision. So Haney on all 3 cards. Still would like to see some action, and we'll see what happens Saturday night. Crazy track story. All right. So my son's track season came to an end. Now, we were talking about the power of prayer earlier. These 4 kids at St. Anthony's High School were the only members of the varsity track team. They made it all the way to CIF. CIF prelims is way out in Carpinteria. That's like Santa Barbara. And we leave the house 2 hours early to be there an hour early for the race. There was a car fire on the freeway. Car fire extends our drive from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. We are 10 miles away. The race begins at 12. Well, the 4x100 starts at 12. We are still 10 miles away at 11:45. My son's fear is that he's going to be the reason why his team cannot advance in CIF because we are stuck on the freeway. Power of prayer. We begin to pray that this freeway would open up. It was only 2 lanes that split because of construction. Parents start calling me. The coach is calling me. And you know how convicted you feel when you're lying while you're praying? Yes, we're close. I had to keep saying, yes, we're close. We're not too far away to keep the people from losing their mind at the track meet. So I'm still trying to hustle to get there. It is now 12 o'clock. I'm still 5 miles away. One parent calls me and says the girls are on the track. There are only 4 heats in the CIF prelims. We're almost there. It's 12:10. I'm a mile away. I just got off the freeway. Where you at? The boys are up. The first heat. I believe we're the 4th heat. We're hustling. And it's CIF prelims, so it's a lot of people. There's nowhere to park. And the coach says, come to the alley, and he would have to just run down the alley to the track. And I don't know what that is. I'm not there at the school yet. We pull up to the first area of the track meet parking lot. And lo and behold, the assistant coach Charles running down the alley from above. From the prayers were answered. My son jumps out the car. It is now 12:20. The Heat before their race had 3 false starts. Won't he do it? He may not come when you want, but he's on time. So my son runs down. My wife says, go film it. So I park illegally. I jump out the truck. I run down the alley. I stick my camera on top of the fence and record the race. He steps on the track, fresh out of a 2.5-hour drive, throws the spikes on, and the gun goes off. First leg, Jonathan Ferguson passes the baton to Alexander Cobbs, who takes second leg, catches 3 people, passes the baton to Remy Doring, who runs the curve like a champ, gets the baton to Drelonde Johnson, who's our anchor, and headed to Cal State San Marcos, by the way. Congratulations, young man. And they win their heat. They go on to the CIF finals. It was an amazing half an hour of stress, but we got there. All right. Great season for those 4 guys. I'm so proud of them. Alex concluded his track season. He's ready for football now. He's going to be leaving in a couple of weeks to San Jose State, but he wanted to finish off the Black Dragons track career from Coach Lee in a California Quicksilver. Finishes off league champions and CIF qualifiers, Division 4 St. Anthony's track. Great job. Pops is really proud of you, young man. OG life lessons. Now we heard Dr. Parker's advice to John Morant and how he would listen to his side and speak words to him. If I was John Morant's OG, meaning if I was his teammate and I was an older teammate, after the first incident, the first few incidents with the pistol whipping and then the gun toting in the Instagram live, I would have had dinner with him, or went and got something to eat at some point or time where we could just kick back. And I would just say, man, do you understand the position you're in? And this picture right here will be a perfect illustration. You were in position to be the face of the NBA. I don't know if you understand what that means. Multi-billion-dollar industry. And it's not even about money per se. It's about position, legacy, Sankofa, reaching back and helping those who are behind you coming up, being a role model. The actions, the activities. It's foolishness, man. I'm not telling you what to listen to. I'm not telling you who to hang around. You have to make that determination. If what you're listening to does not edify your being, your spirit, who you are, if it's a bad influence, it's time to start evaluating what you allow in your life. For these next 10 to 15 years, you have to be more protective of who you let in your circle. If your boys are not keeping you out of trouble, those are not your boys. You saw what happened to Mike Vick. His boys got him locked up. He lost $100 million guaranteed money in the NFL. His boys got him in that kind of trouble. There are other factors in this world that can bring you down. Remember what AI went through. As they say, he beat up an entire bowling alley, and he served 18 months in prison before John Thompson was able to say, I want to help this young man get his life together. If I'm your OG, Ja Morant, we got to get you some hobbies. We got to get you out of these streets, man. The streets is always going to be there. Watch some documentaries of some cautionary tales. Rand University is one. Don't be that playground legend that messed up, that took the wrong path. You're about to lose somewhere upwards of $200 million. You just lost your Nike deal today. And when Adam Silver brings down the hammer on your suspension, you're going to really feel the ramifications of your actions. As your OG, this time around, don't just have lip service saying you're going to change. Change. Cut that mess out of your life. Resuscitate your career. Get back on track. And when you return to the team, play ball. For the next 10 years, just play ball. Take care of your family, play ball. No more hanging out with your friends after 10, because you can't handle it. And if I see you out after 10, I'm going to check you. As your OG, I'm going to send you home. He needs somebody in his life right now that he respects, that will tell him the truth. Right now, these rap guys he hang around, they're not his friends. His dad is living through his fame, so he's not listening to his dad, if his dad even spoke to him about what he should be doing. He's lost his son's ear. I saw them interact. I saw him interact with his mom and grandma. They let this young man do whatever he wants. So at this point, it's going to take an OG, an NBA legend, to get in his ear and basically big brother him. If I see you acting up, it's going to be a problem. That's why I said Steven Adams. He may not respect him as a ball player. He's not as gifted as Ja Morant, but he's an OG and he will put hands on him if he gets out of line. That might be the only thing he respects. You toting around firearms. You must think violence is cool. Well, how about these 5 of these across your lip if I see you out at the club anymore? If I'm Ja Morant's OG, I would have to do some serious big brother tactics. It might come down to some Draymond bully tactics. I'll put hands on you, make sure you get right. Elaine said, I'm sorry, but Ja has problems. He is a special kind of special. He is the only one that can make the change. He has to make a change. But what can expedite that change? 5 of these across your lips, like Red Fox used to say. All right, last but not least, I checked out Air, the movie. The story about how Sonny Vaccaro worked at Nike and had to find a star to be the face of the brand. And this is when Nike wasn't the top dog. It was the redheaded stepchild to Converse and Adidas. Michael Jordan didn't even like Nike. But his mother, Dolores Jordan, is the key to the multi-billion-dollar industry you see today. The Jumpman brand, the Michael Jordan shoe industry, which is multi-million dollar residual income, was all orchestrated by his mom, played by Viola Davis, who did an extraordinary job. Great film. I believe they're calling it the film of the year. It was good. I don't know about film of the year. It was good. Matt Damon and, Ben Affleck and them were in it. Chris Tucker was in it. Chris Tucker kind of set us back a little bit. Chris Tucker was down there cooning a little bit, but I guess that's the character he played. But the entire film is based on Michael Jordan signing with Nike, but Michael Jordan, or a character playing Michael Jordan, was not in it. And I'm kind of thankful because I saw Marlon Wayans in the previews, and I'm like, Marlon Wayans better not be playing Michael Jordan. He actually plays George Raveling in the movie, so it's pretty cool. Air. It is now streaming on, I want to say, is it Amazon Prime? Yeah, it's free on Amazon Prime if you have Prime. Air. Courting a Legend. A must see. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out with your boy. Once again, I thank Coach Erroll Parker for joining me today. Once again, shouting out the Long Beach Poly alumni reunion, July 30th, 5 to 9 p.m. at El Dorado Golf Course. Check it out, www.reunitelbpolyball.com. It's on Amazon Prime. Thanks, Elaine. That is going to be in July. All those who played basketball at Long Beach Poly, we want to see you there. We want to see you there. All right. Once again, remember to check out the Time Is Now podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, other podcast networks. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live. Comment, like us, share us. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. That is my time. I'm going to get out of here like last year. We'll see what happens on these NBA playoffs. It's going to get good. Once again, Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's love child. If you not, you heard it here first. And Tom Izzo will be a part of the Phoenix Suns organization, either as a coach or as a GM. You heard it here first. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful, blessed evening. May Yahweh continue to bless you richly. I'm out of here. Peace out.